It is that time again to figure out if Dead by Daylight is on life support or is it poised for a glorious year to come. Today we're going to dive head first into this asymmetrical horror icon and deep dive to see what the main issues plaguing the games are, how much it has improved from previous years, what we can expect to come out in the future, and will it be enough to keep the game going. Kings and queens, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and today we're doing a little bit of the opposite. We're looking at the positive, we're looking at the future, which is a lot of contrast of yesterday's videos talking about fog whispers and consultants. Now, we've made this video a few times, and I made this video roughly about a year ago talking about the future of Dead by Daylight, and in that video I basically said that it more than likely would be a good / stagnant year for Dead by Daylight because there's going to be some good things coming out. So today I'm going to give you guys my predictions of what's to come with DBD, and of course what possibly could go wrong. So sit back, relax, enjoy the video, and make sure you guys are drinking some G Fuel while you're doing that. That's right, G Fuel is having an awesome BOGO sale right now. It actually ends tomorrow at 3 p.m. Buy one, get one for absolutely free. So make sure you guys are using the link down below and satisfy all your BOGO needs because this is the best time to get your hands on some of these tubs. To celebrate, we're also giving away some G Fuel. If you want to partake in that, it's going to be on my second channel. I want to plug the second channel as much as I can. There's already some fantastic uploads there, and there's a new upload right now that talks about tunneling and camping. Click on the link in the description as well, or up here somewhere if you want to get yourself some free G Fuel potentially. And if you do want to guarantee yourself to get free G Fuel, make sure you check in the link down below for their awesome BOGO sale. It's time we talk about Dead by Daylight. I want to talk about the main issues and will these main issues be adhered to? Now, Dead by Daylight has been going on for a very, very long time, and pretty much a lot of the issues that we've had are the same issues that recur every single year. Whether this is quality of life changes that are lacking, lack of good gameplay, the inability to keep people hooked onto the game, lack of transparency or communication from the developer's side of things, and most importantly, balancing end game health. These things will always, I think, continue to plague Dead by Daylight no matter what the step is. No matter what's really done, we're always going to debate about this, talk about this, and these are going to be the main issues that always plague the game. Now, if we take a look at some of the things Dead by Daylight has already spoken about and have announced in their anniversary stream, we know that when it comes down to feedback and PTBs, there's actually a consultant crew, as we mentioned in yesterday's video. And in case you have not seen that video, there is a consultant crew, which are select players as well as content creators that are going around giving their feedback on how they think the PTB or future changes are going to be received. Do they think it's good? Do they think it's bad? And potentially the devs listen to them and make correct and according changes. Now, the only thing about this is that this has been going on for years. Now that it's public, maybe there'll be more of a say. So with that in place, and we know that's now officially here, maybe moving forward, it amps it up a little bit, and we can see some good and healthy changes when it comes down to game balance, bugs, whatever the case may be. When it comes down to transparency, I think last year for Dead by Daylight, it was a bit shaky. There was that whole Q&A that they did with me on Twitter that didn't necessarily go over too good. That incited some of the FOMO stuff and all of those debates. So it wasn't necessarily the smoothest when it came down to transparency. I think this year moving forward though, they're doing a decent job so far when it comes down to it. We've seen monthly roadmaps. We've already know what the next few chapters are going to be. So when it comes down to the transparency aspect about everything, I think they're doing okay. Obviously, they're not going to tell us everything in the development cycle, but keeping us posted, keeping us updated is a good step in the right direction, and that's one of the main issues that has always plagued DBD, and hopefully they'll be able to nail it on the head. Apart from those major things, it honestly is the same issues. Last year, we talked about the lack of different game modes, things like that, but they have been introducing modifiers, which have been so well received by the community. People even begging for the recent modifier of Chaos Shuffle to be extended because it's just been so fun. And the fun doesn't stop here, and this is where we talk about the future and take a look at the roadmap of what they've actually given us in their anniversary live stream. So I want to start talking about the new game mode that's going to come out for DBD, and that is 2v8. This is going to be huge. We have literally been asking DBD for a 2v8 game mode for years and years, and we're finally going to get the chance to play potentially with our friends. Hopefully, I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but I really hope that's going to be the case. play with our friends, to play as killer, and then go against 8 different survivors. This has been something we've been asking for forever. And I think this is a huge step in the right direction. I think Dead by Daylight is really trying to, make 2 different queues without actually doing so. So instead of having a casual and a ranked queue, what they're doing instead is having your competitive, your regular DBD, and then they're having alternate game modes or modifiers, which essentially is saying this is casual. This is what you play if you want to have fun. And that's why something like Chaos Shuffle, while there still can be sweats and people trying to win, is not necessarily the same as just casual DBD. So I think that's what they're really trying to do. And you know what? 2 birds with 1 stone, because it actually is working. It's fresh for people that want something brand new and something interesting. People absolutely love it. It's admittingly less sweaty and less toxic than the other game modes. Of course, yes, there still is going to be toxicity and tunneling, camping, whatever the case may be in these other game modes, but I think it's safe to say that it is a lot less than what regular DBD is. So that being said, modifiers have done an incredibly good job at keeping the game fresh, keeping it different, and making DBD more fun. And this is something that we haven't seen in a very long time, ironically, in a video game. What I mean by this is video games are meant to be fun, and for DBD for a very long time and for a lot of players, it hasn't been fun, and they're finally making the game fun, which is awesome. Now, speaking of fun, it doesn't stop there. We have some big chapters that are coming out. First and foremost, we got Vecna joining with Dungeons and Dragons. Everybody that likes Dungeons and Dragons, I've seen nothing but positivity from them. I personally know little to nothing about D&D. I know some people think that's satire, but it's not. I really don't. I'm pretty uncultured when it comes down to most things, if you guys haven't figured out already. I mean, only until 2 years ago I had pasta for the first time, so come on. But I've been absolutely loving D&D. That's the point in this. They made a fantastic adaptation of Vecna coming into the game, and I think this is a good thing. I know a lot of people had debates why they were bringing in Dungeons and Dragons. It doesn't fit horror, yada, yada, yada. And to me, I look at it this way. Last year, we had Alien, we had Chucky coming into the game, and you know what? It didn't do much for the game. While it was great and iconic and absolutely fantastic for DBD to add these killers to their roster and their Hall of Fame of killers, as they put it, it didn't necessarily help the player base. It didn't generate that much sales, and in fact, from what we know, their original chapter with Sable and the Unknown did much better than some of these chapters. So overall speaking, I think that testing out the waters with something different like Dungeons and Dragons, and now we're also going to get Castlevania, works perfectly. It still in a way fits that horror adaptation, so you can't necessarily say it's not horror whatsoever. Let them cook so they can make it work in DBD, and it will give players the opportunity from other games and other franchises to take a look and observe what Dead by Daylight is, and maybe even try to play Dead by Daylight, because obviously when it comes down to the base horror genre, most people know what Dead by Daylight is. Even if I go and have conversations with people in real life and I'm like, hey, I play a game for a living and that game is Dead by Daylight, they have a general rough idea of what DBD is. So if you know horror, I think it kind of works out. So appealing to the masses in different genres, I think is a right step in the right direction, and only time will tell, but maybe, and just maybe, this will have a bigger and more positive influence on the game than we think. Now, if you're stuck in your ways and you can't see that, not to worry, because I am pretty confident, almost very confident, that we're more than likely to see Jason coming into DBD this year, or actually next year, I should say, March. Our March killer is more than likely going to be Jason. If it's not in March, it definitely is going to be for the anniversary next year. 100%. I can almost guarantee it. Jason has been coming out into so many other games, so it's almost 100%, a sure thing that he's going to be coming out into Dead by Daylight. In our interview with Matthew Cote, he essentially said that if there was a way, even the slightest way, to get Jason into DBD, they would take it. Obviously, Jason has been coming out into tons of other games, including Fortnite, I believe, is coming out in soon, but 100% they're going to get their hands on Jason one way or the other, and I think they already done that, and that killer is going to come out in March. With that being said, for those of you guys that are diehard horror fans, this will pretty much complete the Hall of Fame for killers for DBD, giving one of the most iconic killers the ability to come into Dead by Daylight. And of course, we can already see what he's gonna do, right? He's gonna walk through pallets or walk through vaults, whatever the case may be, have that rage and just be super duper strong. Jason's coming 100%. So my point being is that the year for Dead by Daylight looks pretty good. We're testing the waters with different chapters from different genres to see how that's going to affect the game, and so far it's been pretty fun and pretty cool with Vecna, and I'm sure Castlevania will be the same way, and if Jason potentially comes out, everyone's going to enjoy that too, especially the horror fans, so it's looking pretty damn good. Now, of course, one of the recurring things that Dead by Daylight always does are their big events, and big events are going to happen yet again. These are typically the times where we see the most players coming into the game because you're getting a ton of awesome stuff, and the events recently have been admittingly quite good. You know, we had triple blood points recently on our Blood Feast event, which was super well received. It took a while. It definitely was a bit rough, but you know, it's going to be annually. So by the time next year when we get it again, it's going to be pretty damn good if they're continuing to improve on these events. We also have the anniversary event, which is notorious for being one of the most popular events in DBD, not to mention one-upping themselves in their Halloween event last year, so we're probably, hopefully going to see something like that. The winter event as well. So there's a lot of different things that are going to be circulating, and I'm excited to see exactly what's going to happen. So new events are coming, big chapters are coming, more modifiers are coming, and I think what really is going to set Dead by Daylight up for success this year, and I think this is almost even experimental, maybe it was unintentional, but it will probably keep things rolling, is that because we're getting a lot of chapters that are only killers, you know, we're also getting chapters that are only survivors, but they're coming out in mid-chapter patches. Now, they've done this already with Alan Wake, and Alan Wake wasn't too hot. It didn't really fly off the shelves as they expected it to, or even I expected it to. But I think with the constant updates that always come out, especially with these big mid-chapter patches now, coming along with another survivor and keeping that content flowing and flowing and flowing. So no matter what, we're getting a new chapter, we're getting a new modifier, a new event, we're getting a new survivor, and then that keeps repeating into a new event, a new chapter, then a new survivor, and that keeps flowing and flowing and flowing. All year long, we're constantly going to be getting updates. We're constantly be getting new chapters. In recent times, I've always said, you know, I'm a little bit bored of DBD. I'm just waiting for the new stuff to come out. There's never going to be a stalemate. There's never going to be a time where you're pretty much bored of Dead by Daylight because of no new content or no new things happening. There's constantly going to be new things happening, and I think this is going to be really, really good for Dead by Daylight. And as I said, I don't know if this was intentional or if they just wanted to drop in survivors because they felt bad for only having, you know, a killer. But I think it's going to be pretty damn good, to say the least. And of course, there's going to be more modifiers, more things like that. I really am looking forward to this year. To summarize everything, I think this year is going to be massive for Dead by Daylight. Last year, I said it will be possibly good, or maybe like really, really good, or a little bit stagnant. I think this year is going to be huge for Dead by Daylight. I think this is going to be one of their peak years where we're going to look back at this year and say, oh my god, that was amazing. And to be fair, even looking back at last year, while the player count didn't increase superbly compared to, you know, what we're normally seeing, when you take a look at how much of the cool modifiers we got, all the quality of life changes that we got Alien, we got Chucky, we got so many awesome survivors with Nicolas Cage, Alan Wake, Sable. We're getting new types of perks and a fantastic original chapter. Looking back at that year, it was absolutely monumental. And I think this year is going to top last year, which is a crazy statement to make. And I think it's going to just blow everything else out of the water. How they're going to top this next year when I rewatch this video and, you know, go through all of the ideas and thoughts and ambitions that I shared, I don't know. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, that the year is actually good. But yeah, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you leave a like down below. Don't forget, G Fuel is having a fantastic buy one get one sale. You guys can head over by clicking on the link in the description. This is only lasting until tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure you guys are getting the best part of that. G Fuel, we're also doing a giveaway on my second channel. Video is over there. Go and click the link in the description as well if you want to participate in that. And there's a DLC code winner that I forgot to actually show in the last video, so I'll show it on my new video if you're there. Last plug, live on Twitch tomorrow, and I'm getting back to schedule. I've been gone on Twitch for like 2 months, And it's been an ongoing meme with everybody and everything like that, that I'm never streaming, or I'm back. That's what I always say. I'm back. And to be honest, for the last 2 months, I've streamed 6 times. It is terrible. It's a terrible record. And I want to say I'm sorry. I don't really have any excuse for it. I've just been pretty lazy. Other days were actual excuses, but overall, I haven't been with it. So I want to get back to streaming. June, I really want to lock in, make streams, and make good content for you guys. And that's my mini update to you guys. Once June hits, you know, I'm going to have a couple days here and there spending time with family and friends, but for the most part, I'm going to be locked in and dialed into content. I'm going to make some really cool content. I got some cool things planned already that I know you guys are going to enjoy, so stay tuned for that. So point being, plug in the Twitch. Hopefully we see you guys there. Plug in the second channel. Hopefully we see you guys there. Thank you to G-Fuel for always supporting and sponsoring me. Discord, by the way, is going to be open from now on down below. I'm rambling on. That's going to do it for me. As always, I'm the King. I tip my crown to you guys. We'll see you in the fog.